Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering Love Island UK Season 9, Episode 3, Chris. Now, where would you like to start today?
Well, Dave, I'm going to flip the format slightly today because we have had an email from our good friend Claire, and I think it's quite prevalent with what was discussed yesterday. So, she says, message from a concerned listener. So I saw that in the header and I was like, oh my God, what the hell have we done? Who've we offended today, Dave? Yeah. He's coming. So anyway, she says, Chris and Dave, I just want to say a huge thank you for your sacrifices you've made to your souls and sanity over the last few years, immersing yourselves in Love Island episodes. But I have a request. Please can you stop covering the foreign Love Island shows? We don't want you tired and tainted, worn out and despondent so soon in the UK Series 9. It's heartbreaking to witness. My Love Island experience is nothing without you two feeding the show back to me daily, joyfully taking the piss out of each other and the contestants. We need you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for this essential and noble work. Also, Chris, I am worried if you don't ease off the Love Island workload, you might actually break Dave as you have broken Sam. There's all sorts of dances. Like, you're not giving him chance to heal after each season. Do you want a damaged Dave refusing to watch Summer 23? Question mark. Do any of us want that? No, we bloody don't. Honestly, sometimes I think I'm only watching the show to be able to enjoy your podcast. I bet I'm not the only one. Keep up the good work, boys. Claire. So, Dave, I think I'm getting a lot here, but I think it's a great email. I had to read it at the start because you've got the right to respond, Dave. Now, it's not you with a false email, is it, Dave? Just throw it in.
It's a Maeve.
Yeah, Maeve again.
Well, the first thing I'll say is I'm not sure if it's just my mind, but there will be no breaking of Dave by Chris. Like Sam.
Let's not go
there. It's probably a good jolt for us as well, isn't it? And yes, I do 100% stick the blame of that on your door, who was salivating, running around like a little puppy. Let's do Australia.
Yeah, I know.
Like you said yesterday, we're now covering, out of 8 months, we're doing Love Island for 6. So, yeah, I think it's a fair point. But, I mean, what I would say is, you know, we have listeners from all over the place, don't we? So, you know, we're always going to it feels like we're going to let someone down because obviously, you know, in Australia, that's the primary show that they watch. In the US, they'll watch the US shows first. So, yeah, I think we just have to play it a little bit by ear because we've got maths coming up as well, haven't we? So just to ratchet up the pressure a little bit more.
Yes, and you know what? I wanted to be honest. You know us, we put it on the line, we say things in that, you know, and we genuinely, it's just us in it, just talking. But that's how I felt. And I think today's episode 3, we're getting in, Dave. I've got to say, it's a little bit of, you know, this planting of a few little trees there, shall we say, a little bit of something going on. I don't think it was a great episode as such, but there's a few things happening, Dave. So where do you want to start?
Really? Are you not just playing up to that email? Really? Go on, tell me what trees you're planting. So, because
the worst analogies ever.
Probably seeds you're probably looking to plant, but I
think you're going to cut the tree down and hit me with it, Dave. But anyway, you go on.
Chris, I thought this was equally as poor an episode. I still think, you know, part of it is the contestants. They're so well versed now. You know, they're coming in, and I think they're all just a bit too aware of the cameras. And I said yesterday I was getting a little bit of a funny feeling about Ron, and we had the voicemail from Jo as well, didn't we? And she was saying, is he playing the game? You know, coming in saying he's into Harry Potter and everything, and you know, it's all very deliberate. He's trying to couple up with the blonde, but I feel like even more in tonight's episode, I felt that, you know, just the the side eye to the camera, just being very aware of everything. He was like fucking exposition man. When he's talking to the lads and stuff, and he's saying, "Oh, so you feel like this way?" And God, Chris, I was getting some serious Curtis vibes. The so-called fucking Dr. Love kind of thing, advising everyone. And, then the next minute, he's going on about how, couldn't possibly have my head turned. It's fucking day 3, you prick. This is not a head turn situation. Your head isn't even fixed in one position. But it's like they're all talking as if they've been there for 6 weeks, because they feel like, well, that's kind of what they've got to say. And so I think it will just take a little bit longer. I think this week 1 will be tough going. So we're just over halfway now, aren't we? So, not long till we get to Friday now. 2 more episodes. It will just be a bit tough because everyone's on their best behaviour. Everyone's playing up to the cameras. Everyone's saying the things that they think they should say. But weeks 2 and 3, I think that's when we'll start to see the mask slip a little bit. And so I'm still hopeful for this season. But yeah, just everyone's so aware of where they are right now.
Yeah, we always say, don't they? There is a career, Dave. We know there's a career afterwards. You play it right, you're getting your own reality show, Ekin-Su Davide style. So, I think one of the ones who's a fucking tryhard, Dave, more than anything. And I think you're absolutely on the money, Dave. I know you don't get many things right on this show, but you got it right about Will. And that was... I can hear you chopping a tree, Dave, at the moment. But that was... Right, Hugo, I know you weren't on that series, but Dr. Alex, the same thing, Curtis. I think Will's going to be one of these guys where they find him, he's too nice, Dave. It's just, he can't be like Hugo. Hugo was a fucking joke. Every girl who did show him a bit of attention, within about fucking 3 hours, he was like, no, I'm not feeling it really, So I don't necessarily think it's that, but I do think he's going to be like Anton and all the others, Dave. He's just going to be a friend, and he's going to be on Friend Island and probably get saved because of his personality. But I just think everything about him just seems so polished. I think he thought he was going in there and he'd be absolutely the man. And he could be by the end of the week, but it doesn't matter. You are part of the 1%ers on Love Island, aren't you? These people are absolutely stunning, all men, women. They're all like really good looking. And his personality might be better, but it's not really showing at the moment.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that last bit right at the end there about his personality, because I'm not seeing it at all. He wanders around like with his fucking sweaters, like he's Tarquin or something, off to do a hunt, and then it's just, they talk about his personality, but I just don't see it at all. All I saw was, obviously the start of the episode was when Tom and Olivia, got together, and Will ends up being the one left out, and he's like, oh yeah, it's fine, not in a friendship couple, and he's kind of like, got to get McGrath on or what. He doesn't use those words, but that's kind of what he's saying. And then, oh my God, Chris, it was so cringy. In fact, this was probably the highlight of the episode, where he's trying to woo Lana. It's so painful to watch. And she's like so not interested. But I don't know. Maybe if he hangs around, we'll start to see his personality. But I keep going back to Anton. I think for me, Anton was quite funny. You could see he had some good one-liners and stuff, and you could see why he would be kept around. Didn't really understand why Hugo got kept around at all. I didn't see what it was about his personality that had people, constantly voting back in as in a friendship couple kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know, Chris. If Will hangs around for longer than 2 weeks on this, I'm calling bullshit, because we know he's got the biggest social media following.
Yeah.
And so Love Island's almost become this thing when, yes, okay, people get to, grow their Instagram following when they get on the show. He's already got 1 million followers. So how much is the show kind of using him to grow their own exposure, or not grow their own exposure, but keep the chat going, keep the interaction going, and what have you. So I don't know. I think he's a fucking drip, to be honest, Chris. I'm just not seeing anything at all. And I said earlier, if he's a fucking actual farmer getting his hands dirty, I'm Tom Cruise's body double. It's fucking bullshit. There's no way he's doing anything. His fucking family are the farmers, and he's just fucking sauntering around, taking pictures of himself for Instagram.
What a life, Dave. What a life. But this is, you know what, Dave? You say this, exactly what you were taught yesterday. You're fucking pissed. And that's exactly why I love doing this podcast, because you are fuming. And just knowing that you were fuming watching this is making my podcast, my friend, because I love doing this when you're angry. So what I will say, Dave, was he starts chatting to fucking Lana, doesn't he? And he's chatting away to, and he's like, yeah, you're for me, my type, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, actually, I'm more into Ron. He gets pied off then, doesn't he? It was like, oh, right. He goes, well, I'm going to keep grafting, and I'm going to keep trying. And she's sort of like, yeah, well, good fucking luck with that, pal. You're getting nowhere. I mean, that. I must admit, Dave, if you're in that situation, especially on telly, you must be thinking, fuck me, you know what I mean? So anyway, he got a bit of humble pie. And Lana, talks about Ron, doesn't she? How she likes him, and Ron's talking about her. Ron gives us this big speech, doesn't he, Dave? How, his head won't be turned. I'm pretty confident. And if she did, I'd win her back within the day. And then he goes on a date with one of the new girls, Sarah, and says, my head's on a swivel here. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I could turn here. I could turn. And I'm like, well done, Ron. As usual, you've done the same thing that everyone in Love Island says and just been a complete hypocrite. And what I don't get, Dave, every single, and I think you're right about being settled, every single person in there should just say, look, I'm with you. I really like you. But if someone comes in, if you try it, I try it. If we like them, we like it. If we don't, we don't. They just completely step over their own conversations, don't they? And that's where you get goodies and baddies in Love Island, because him, and I mean, Tanya, I'm not sure we'll talk about that in a sec, but with Ron, it's like, you're not attached to her. You've probably been with her for 48, 72 hours. We can obviously see that they're ahead of us on the recording because we've already got tonight's episode. But yeah, I don't know, David. I love that when they're complete hypocrites. And as soon as he sees Zara, he's like, oh, well, she's definitely a bit of me. He's like, okay, Lana who? So yeah, that's usual Love Island trope, I think, Dave.
Yeah, but like I say, it's because they're just trying to play the game. So what he's trying to do there, he's trying to convince us, the viewers, that, this thing with Lana, something here, it's got great chemistry and what have you. And, basically, they've coupled up because on a snap decision, when they come in on that first day, they thought they were fit. Right? Yeah. And then, right, you think I'm fit too? Great, let's couple up and let's go off, have a chat, and then we'll spend 3 hours getting ready in front of the mirror looking at ourselves, and then, we'll have a bit more of a chat, and then the next day it's like, oh God, I think she could be the one. It's just such utter bullshit. But then, he does look like a hypocrite, but again, I'm kind of wondering, is this part of the game? Is this to... we know that the couples in Love Island, when they do settle down quite early on, and there's no conflict or anything, what do we say? Boring, aren't we? Get no bloody screen time. So you almost, if I was going into Love Island with a bit of a game plan, I think that'd be part of the game plan, wouldn't it? Settle down early, but then create a little bit of conflict. I wouldn't go quite as far as the recent playbook of the last couple of seasons, where it's like, well, you've got to test the relationship, so you've got to be a bit naughty, but then all you've got to do is get your graft on, and that keeps you interested, that keeps you with your screen time, doesn't it? So, he's kind of going along with his, a bit of a see-through strategy, I think, there, old Ron.
Yeah, and I think you're right, because we've had the Casa Amor thing, like you said, the test. the lads go and cop off with girls and then come back like there's a problem when the partner they're supposed to be with is upset. That's the as you said, just the ultimate. So, yeah, you're right. I don't think with Ron, I think that he will get with Zara, Dave. But I know we saw the VT. It looks like she's trying to meet and speak to all the guys, which she quite rightly should. What did you think of the other day, Dave? Tanya and David. So, David, good-looking guy. I thought Zara and David, both great-looking people. David seemed really grounded. Great chat, Dave. I know you want to talk about Tanya, Dave, and where she lives.
Well, on our preview episode, Chris, I did call out the fact that, she says she's from Liverpool. I was like, oh, that's interesting. She doesn't sound like it. She doesn't have the Scouse accent at all. But when she was quizzed on the date, it was like, oh, yeah, I am from Liverpool. She suddenly became Scouse. And it's like, what? What just happened? I seem to have like a bit of a brain fart. I was like, she suddenly switched into Scouse, but I wasn't sure. She didn't acknowledge the fact that she was like putting on a voice or something. So I'm like, is that your real accent? Are you putting on the posh voice for the cameras, or are you putting on the Scouse accent to accentuate the fact that you're from Liverpool? It's a fucking weird one. So it just left me confused, Chris, because I mean, when she slipped into it, it wasn't like you when you do accents. It did sound authentic.
How dare you? How dare you, David? That is disgraceful. No, but I do think she reminded me of who is the girl who got with Matt on Maths, Dave? The big controversy. And one minute she was posh, the next minute she was just like, she's from London. What's
Whitney?
She called? Whitney. She had the same thing, didn't she? When she was like, oh, really? But then when the next, I'm not even doing a Cockney accent, but then she went,
fucking fuck you up, mate.
yeah. Who you fucking talking to? Yeah, it's all like that. But yeah, her accent dropped, didn't it? She was trying to have all this class about it and etiquette, which there's nothing wrong with that. But then it just dropped, didn't it, when she was just having a go at people. But yeah, interesting because I didn't think. I mean, Tanya and Shaq just before this, Shaq got his kiss, Dave. Played the role reversal. Yeah, eventually in bed, he got I must admit, my toes fucking curl when they're having this fucking debrief. We talk about every season. It gets on my fucking nerves. They're all sat together, aren't they? And it's like, oh, you won't believe that. And then Tanya's going,
tell me more.
Did she put up a fight? Oh no, that's a different. No, we can't do
let's
that.
not go there.
It's so bad, that, isn't it, when you listen to it?
It's fucking horrendous, isn't it? We were watching that as kids and we're like, did you put up a fight?
Everyone in the fucking clubs, it used to be there, didn't you? Like, if it come on like it's a cheesy song, and did you I'm putting my fucking fists up nowadays. That's so wrong. Can I just say, I've never done that to Samantha, okay? Everybody listening. It's the other way round. But anyway, but no, it's fucking cringy. And I know Tanya said, Shaq got a bit excited, shall we say, Dave, gets his kiss. Shaq's like, yeah, and it was pretty much the same. There was no exaggeration on the story. But then when she goes on the thing with David, great guy, smooth, he's got the chat. It says he can lift more weights than Shaq, Dave. I don't know what that's got to do with anything, but I did think there was a connection there, but she did come back and say that she missed Shaq. As soon as she saw him, she was like, oh, there's Shaq. So I don't know how that's going to go, but it's good to have all these bombshells in, because obviously we've had them pretty quick, and the dynamic of the house has changed. Just to give a little bit, I think Lana, Dave, could potentially, and I think she looks like Cassidy from the Australian Love Island as well. Yeah. But I do think Lana's going to be the one who's going to be crying and going from, well, not necessarily relationship, but who was the girl in the Aussie one, Dave, who stayed there like a fucking fart in an astronaut suit, and she kept getting with every single guy and just kept staying in the last series, the Aussie one we just watched. Remember? And she was there right at the death, and it was like, why are you still here? She just kept getting with people quickly, didn't she?
The blonde one as well.
Yeah, remember?
She got with the guy with the mullet as well.
Yes, yeah. Is it Jordan with the mullet?
Jordan was with the mullet, yeah.
And she was just there, wasn't she, all the way through, and it was like, why are you still here? Do you know what I mean? But anyway, so I don't necessarily think Lana doesn't seem that sort of conniving as she was, but I think she's going to be in for the shocker. I think she's all in on Ron already. I think that sort of he's mine thing is coming about.
Yeah, And Chris, I don't know out of this lot. I don't know who I'm rooting for yet. So hopefully by weeks 2 or 3, I'll be actually rooting for someone. But Lana's doing my head in a bit as well. She's like, "Oh, I'm the only blonde here." She must have said that about 3 times. It's like, fucking get over yourself. You know what I mean? We know this is Love Island. There's a truckload of them coming in later on. So, just enjoy it while it lasts. So, yeah, I find her kind of side of things a little bit forced as well. Again, in terms of accents, that is not a Luton accent, Chris. I don't know what accent that is, but claims she's from Luton, but I does not sound like Luton to me. So let's see with them two. But for Tanya, I don't know which way that's going to go, because I thought she did have quite a bit of chemistry with David. David? It's not David, is it?
David. Wrong series there.
You're a liar. I thought she had a bit of chemistry there, and the fact that Shaq kept getting blown off, not in a good way. I just thought that, she kept pieing him off, didn't she? And so I just thought, maybe she's just not really feeling it. And again, look, it's too fucking early to really make your mind up. So I could see that one going one way or the other. She missed Shaq because she spent a bit of time with him for a couple of days. You got those holiday romance feelings. But, when she gets to know David a bit more, I think she might go that way as well.
We'll see, Dave. I think as well, another couple who look like they want to be together and they're not is Olivia and Harris, because obviously Tom picked Olivia. He even said he only goes for blondes, so he obviously picked a small brunette, Dave. Which, so he didn't offend her, but he was sort of like, "Yeah, I've gone for you." And then she speaks to Harris and says, "Well, actually, I'm more attracted to you, than I am to him. He may grow on me." And it's like, well, he's fucking 6'5". If he grows any more, you're not going to step ladder to fucking get near him. But I think that's dead in the water, that relationship, Dave. I think that this is going to be the first split of the couples, potentially Tom. Right, so we haven't had it yet. Reality Radar, Dave, he's back, my friend. 100%, 100% guarantee and 100% accuracy, as you know. So I'm saying Harris gets with Olivia and Tom gets with Lana, Dave. There's my prediction.
Well, I think when we started off with the Reality Radar, it was more ambitious than that, Chris. It was more ambitious than saying, Tom, the guy who said he goes for blondes, is going to get with the only fucking blonde in the villa. And coupled with, it's an Harris and Olivia will get together. When she fucking told him on camera she fancies him more, I think the radar has been a bit conservative there. I think it needs to be a bit more ambitious myself.
Well, just hang on a minute there, because last year, whatever you think, I got the ultimate radar prediction correct. You all doubted me.
10 years from now, the year is 2033, and Chris is still dining out on predicting that Davide and Ekinsu would get together.
I think, and they're still together. I think you said there is something like a 1% chance of them getting together, David.
Didn't say zero. Didn't say zero, did I?
Everyone doubted the Reality Radar, by one person, I think, gave on Facebook, and I do appreciate that. Everyone else came at me, and then as soon as it happened, everyone was like, Chris, we bow at the altar of the Reality Radar, Dave.
You've got a couple of songs.
I did, yeah. So, no, I am starting a bit conservatively. Just ease myself back in, Dave, because on maths, it doesn't really happen, the radar as such. It's a couple of predictions, but not the recoupling. So they're my initial coupling, Dave. I'm intrigued by that, my friend.
You've charmed me.
You charmed me.
Fair enough. Now, Chris, other kind of things that went on tonight, just, again, a bit of a middling episode for me, so I don't really think I've got anything else.
No, I haven't actually, David. I think we've chatted about everything that I can remember that was worth forgetting. I will say, the weather, I called out it being windy. Maybe it's windy at night. It looks roasted. Even I think Lana said in one of the chats we need to go sit in the shade because it was so when she talked with Will. So obviously it must be steaming in the day, but it looked really windy the other day. And I had someone comment actually on Facebook about where they think it is in South Africa. So it's interesting.
Which I should have probably brought up here, so just bear with me.
And me as well.
Here we go. So, it was Jade, and it was Jade.
Like, sorry, Jade.
I am not going to fucking pronounce that. Close to Blueberg, which is essentially, the Afrikaans call it the Windy Mountain. So there you go, Chris. It's and it says, or Blowy Mountain. But only if you're lucky. So I think that explains. So, a bit of insider knowledge there. But, it looks like it's going to be one of those. Each episode's going to be a bit different. But, I don't mind it, Chris. You've got the typical Love Island, the slow cam dancing and everything. These are the shots where they want us to see the glamorous lifestyle and everything. I want to see him fucking struggling to walk across the pool without getting blown off their feet and stuff and being in awkward positions and that. So bring it on.
They were horrible, aren't we, really? It's all about the...
100%. 100%. See you next Tuesdays.
Yeah,
that's why
I like it.
Keep coming back to this show, isn't it?
Exactly. So, massive thank you and big thank you to Claire for our email. I've taken on board your observations, Claire, so thank you. If you want to email us like Claire, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media @cdrealitycast. I am on the radio tomorrow, BBC Three Counties, around about 7:15 with Babs Michelle talking about Love Island. So, if you've not had enough of us by tomorrow evening, you can listen to me a little bit more. And I think it's on the BBC Sound app as well, guys. So thank you if you tune in. Please get over to Patreon, patreon.com/CD Realitycast. And today, Dave, we have an ever-expanding roll call of honour. So massive thank you to Tracy, who's signed us. So thank you very much, Tracy. We appreciate all your support. And as always, let's run through all the other supporters of the show, Dave. So we've got Cassie, Megan, Kate, Annabeth, Maggie, Kristen, Zoe, Gillian, Michelle, Keith, Helen, Brianna, Joanna, Libby, Katie, Dee Dee, Priscilla, Susan, Hennessy, Lauren, Lucky Lulu Green, and Kent Gustafson. So thank you so much, guys. It's really, really appreciate all your support. So good.
No, that's awesome. And like I say, we kind of play up a little bit how jaded we are, but we do still love coming back to it. And so, like I say, I think the next 2 episodes, Chris, this is my prediction, it's still going to be a bit on the quiet side. It's going to be a bit of a slog, but it's going to build to something on Friday night. So they're going to leave us with a little bit of a cliffhanger. So we're going to have a little bit of drama, I think, just to tease us. And then next week we'll probably get properly into it.
Yeah, I think so. It's coming, Dave. It's coming. Don't worry. So
awesome.
Weekend, but there you go. Okay, mate. So thank you for today, and thanks everyone again for tuning in. And we will see you tomorrow.
Bye now.